The Cold War, lasting from 1947 to 1991, wasn't a conventional conflict with bullets and bombs, but rather a war of ideas, influence, and power. In 1945, World War II had ended, but a new global conflict was on the horizon. The two superpowers that emerged victorious from the ashes of the war, the United States and the Soviet Union, quickly found themselves on opposing sides. Though they had fought together against Nazi Germany, the underlying tensions between their ideologies, capitalism and democracy on one side and communism and authoritarianism on the other, were bound to come to the surface. At the Yalta and Potsdam conferences in 1945, Allied leaders met to discuss post-war Europe. However, these talks were marked by sharp disagreements, particularly regarding Germany's future and the fate of Eastern Europe. While the US and its Western allies wanted to rebuild Europe with democratic institutions, the Soviet Union sought to spread communism and install pro-Soviet governments. This divide in post-war objectives laid the groundwork for the ideological, political, and military standoff that followed. As tensions rose, the political landscape of Europe dramatically changed. In 1946, Winston Churchill famously declared that an Iron Curtain had descended across Europe. The western side of the Iron Curtain, led by the US, was characterized by free markets and democratic institutions. On the eastern side, Soviet-controlled states adopted communism and were bound to Moscow's rule. This division became the defining feature of the Cold War, as Europe was essentially split into two armed camps. This period saw the formation of military alliances. In 1949, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, was established as a collective defense against Soviet aggression. In response, the Soviet Union formed the Warsaw Pact in 1955, solidifying the split between the Eastern and Western blocs. To counter Soviet expansion, the US adopted a foreign policy known as containment. This policy was designed to limit the spread of communism worldwide. One of the earliest applications of this strategy was in Greece and Turkey, where the US provided military and economic aid to stop communist insurgencies. This strategy became the basis of the Truman Doctrine, which committed the US to protecting nations threatened by communism. As a result, the Cold War often turned hot through proxy wars, where the superpowers backed opposing sides in regional conflicts. The Korean War was the first of these conflicts, pitting US-led United Nations forces against North Korea, supported by China and the USSR. This war didn't lead to significant territorial changes, but it cemented the US policy of military intervention to stop communism.